Hello, Gayatri.
Hello, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fine. You tell me, how are you doing?
I'm doing really great. I mean, it's cold outside, so everyone knows, but
Mhm.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking.
Okay, that's great. And thank you so much for joining me today. I'm eagerly waiting to start the conversation and dive deep into the things that we have decided for today's conversation.
For sure. I'm excited to answer the questions and help the audience. Yeah.
That's great. So the topic of today's discussion is actually once I posted a post on my YouTube channel and I asked my subscribers if they have any questions to ask me. So I thought we can take up that for today's session because I don't want to give just my perspective, but if we can give them holistic approach towards their question and we can address them with both of ours perspective, then it would be a better thing for them too, right? So we'll be addressing
Yeah, for
those.
sure.
Okay. So
100%.
without further ado, let's just start with the questions, right?
Yeah, so should I briefly introduce me to your audience also?
Yes, I forgot
Uh,
that. Yes, please continue
that's
with
all.
that.
Yeah, sure. Otherwise, your audience will be very confused that who has Sunita brought and who is she to giving advices. They must know,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So yeah, thank you so much, Sunita ji, first of all, to give me this chance. So let me introduce myself briefly. I'm Gayatri Sharma. I'm from New Delhi. At least right now, I'm from New Delhi, but am from west part of UP, right, which comes under NCR. So this is about my place, and I have done my masters in English literature. And apart from that, I have been a trainer for 3.5 years, and I have worked with few brands in India. I'm not allowed to take their names, but right now what I can say is that I am associated with one brand, which is an American brand. It's like Prime Kids Academy, where I give extra tuitions to kids to improve their competitive English. And previously, I worked with an amazing brand, which is like Ocean English Academy. It's a big YouTube channel now, so I have also worked with them. So this is briefly about me, and I have been working as a trainer for over 3 years now. So at least in my journey, I have taught more than 4 to 5 thousand learners. I have helped them grow in their journey. I have, like, exactly have them improve their communication skills. So this is what about me. And today I am going to answer a few of the questions of your audience so that they get some ideas that what can they do. So yeah.
Wow, wow. That was quite a wonderful introduction of yours. And I'm sure that you are coming up with lots of experience, vast experience in this field. And your expertise is definitely going to help my audience too. So I'm just looking forward to it. Okay,
For
so let's
sure.
take up the first question. It is from Nitin, and he's asking that he's facing issue with learning vocabulary, and he quoted that I'm putting a lot of efforts to remember word for a long period of time, but within a week I forget. Need some tips on this. So this is quite a common problem that people keep on learning vocabularies and then they keep on forgetting as well, and then they get stuck while having conversation. So what are your suggestions on this particular issue?
Okay, so I myself have been a learner of the language. I come from Hindi medium background, and I have learned the language, as a learner. And after like 2020 to 2022, I learned language, and 2022 to since then up till now, I have been a trainer, and further I'm planning to upgrade. Right. So coming to the question of Nitin, first of all, thank you, Nitin, to ask this question, because I believe that this is the most asked question I come across every single time. That, ma'am, we are not able to recall the words. We learn 10, 20 words every day, but I don't know how to sustain and retain those words. But one thing I personally feel, and this is very observation of mine from my learners and the people I keep talking to, that repetition is not there. So I would suggest to Nitin that, Nitin, please start repeating the words. I would say that do not run behind quantity, that, okay, I learned 20 phrases a day or maybe 10 phrases a day. I'll say you go for one. But try to have that at the end of the month, every month, you must be having at least 30 new words in your vocabulary. And it's not a small thing to achieve if you are able to retain them, right? If you can retain those words, it's good, right? So what you can do is repeat. I mean, Sunita ji, you will be agree with the fact that we still remember A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, right? A for apple, B for boy, something like that, right? So I hope that you agree with the fact that repetition played a very crucial role to retain that up till now we have those things on our subconscious memory, right? So what's your take?
Right. Yes, I completely agree with your point because repetition is totally required. Whenever we learn something, it is a human tendency that we tend to forget, and we cannot have everything we come across in our memory. And because of that, repetition is required. We have to give a look again and again so that it would be there in our memory for a longer run. So, revision is must. And then I would say that whatever words we are coming across, it is not necessary to learn each and every word we are coming across when we read books and when we watch movies or TV series or for that matter, anything we are doing. So go for functional words or something that you kept on hearing again and again, and you should know the meaning of that particular word because other people are using it. So you should know so that you can also understand other speakers, right? So use functional words, learn functional words and the words that people are using and focus on that. Learn things in context and use them in context, like make some sentences around it. So this is something, this approach would definitely help them learn vocabularies. And I must say that I also learn many words on daily basis, but I keep on forgetting. So it's quite fine because it's natural that we forget. But try to learn synonyms of whatever you are learning so that whenever you are in a conversation, you need not to stress yourself to recall that particular word. Instead, you will be acquainted with many synonyms. So whatever spontaneously come to your mind, just use it then and there. So that would definitely help them.
Yeah, this is true. So I think for
Mhm.
vocabulary, I'll go for that repetition is must. And I totally stand by the idea when you said that learn functional words. I mean, I come across thousands of videos on YouTube and where the videos are bombarded with a lot of unnecessary vocabulary which are not used, right? For example, it's raining like cats and dog. I'm telling you, Sunita ji, nobody uses this particular idioms. I have come across hundreds of native speakers like American, Britishers. Even I have had words with them when I was the part of some trainings, some international trainings, right? Nobody uses that word. And I don't know why people keep bombarding their brain with some unnecessary words. So I'll give you one simple example right now. I learned the word today is trying times. I was watching one of the interviews of Katrina Kaif and I learned the word from there, trying times. So, what is the meaning of trying times? Like hardships. The time you are going through, which is really hard for you, right? So, what I'll do, this particular word gives me a connection with my past that I was going through trying times, right? Even the COVID-19 was very difficult for all of us across the country, and we were going through trying times. So until I exactly repeat the words and connect my reality with vocabulary, I might not be able to retain it, right? Retain it. And that's how I learn words. And that will I'll suggest to Nitin also.
Right, you're spot on. And I must say that you already mentioned that we have to associate our words with our experiences, emotions, and then you can retain it for a longer run. That's definitely spot on. And there is this another thing that people can do. They can maintain a journal for their vocabularies they are learning on daily basis. So it would be easy for them to revisit all those on daily basis or maybe after some time. There is a term called spaced repetition wherein you have to repeat things after certain spaces or certain period of time so that you don't forget it, right?
This
So
is so
maintain
true,
a
yeah.
journal.
Right. Next
Oh,
question of your audience.
yes. Yes, I think we are clear on this part. So the next question is from Suvarna, and she said, "My problem is you may be given any topic to speak. I'll speak 2 to 4 sentences, but after that, I can't speak more."
Okay, here I'll go with direct example, Sunita ji. Right now, we both are in a process like where we are helping a lot of English learners, right? We both have been learners as well. Right now, we are training. I remember watching one of the videos of yours where you were saying that I do have those qualities of being very empathetic to learners, being very sensitive, kind something like that, right? Great. So what happens when you talk about different topics? Like if right now suddenly Sunita ji, if I give you a topic that tell me how do you what do you think about technology, right? Or
Mhm.
what do you think about space? Or what do you think about geographical condition of India? Or what do you think about political condition of India? Now, if you are the one who has knowledge on these various topics, you'll be able to hold a conversation. But when you have never been exposed to such content, then you will not be able to hold a conversation on it, right? So initially, what happened to me, Sunita ji, when I started learning the language, I'm not talking about after being a trainer, when I was in a learning phase of mine, It used to happen with me a lot. Like after speaking two, three, more than 10 sentences, I used to think, what is next now? But as long as or until we work on the knowledge part or the information part of the particular domain, right? If you are a homemaker and if someone asks you that what is your favorite dish and how do you prepare that, so you must have information that what is the process of the preparation of the dish and what are the ingredients, right? How the dish tastes, right? Texture of the dish, everything. Talk amazingly about the particular product, right? If I'm talking to an engineer must have knowledge on his specific field. That okay, I have languages, I have multiple languages, Java, Python, C++, something like that. Information holds really big importance when you talk about that. I cannot speak on other topics because you are not exposed to other topics. So what you have to do, you have to diversify your horizon. You have to learn, you have to get information from different fields. You must know what is happening in India politically, right? You must know what is happening internationally. What if suddenly comes and talks about what do you think about Palestine as a human? But I don't know what Palestine is going through, so I'll not be able to talk about it, right? So my summarization of this particular topic would be, or the question would be, that expose yourself to as many topics as you can. Try to expand your horizon. Don't go for that. Okay, I don't like politics, so I will not get information about it. You don't know. Maybe tomorrow you may talk to Pradhan Mantri, like PM, Mr. Modi, or you may have interaction with Mr. Gadkari, right? So he is Infrastructure Minister of India. So you must be very flexible and adaptable with your content, you know. Yeah. So that's my answer to this. What's your
Right.
thought on it?
Very well explained. I completely agree with you on this part. And I must say that now that you have explained them that you need to widen your horizon, so they need not to rush for it and need not to learn everything at once. So go slowly and gradually. And I must say for beginners, they can go topic wise. Let's suppose for today, they can take a topic of food and learn vocabularies related to food, phrases related to food. There are some codes or some anecdotes they can involve in their sentences or topics that they can relate their thoughts with. So learning topic wise would definitely help them and go gradually, like getting expertise in this gradually topic wise, that would help. And yes, they need to structure their thoughts as well, because sometimes it happens that you have a good knowledge of that particular topic, but your thoughts are not structured. That is why you fumble and you just stop talking and you're not confident. So this happens. So structure your thoughts. Start with the thing that you know about it. Like if you got the topic technology, then just say whatever you know about the technology, like the definition, and the middle part, whatever you know about it. You can include some quotes, some anecdotes, your experiences, and then conclude it at last. So that way you can go, instead of just rambling around and going off topic and just killing others' time. So you have to structure your thoughts. And in that, writing can also help, because the way you write, your speaking would come that way only. If your thoughts are structured, your speaking would also be in a structured way.
Yeah, true, true, true. Yeah, that's how it happens. And rightly mentioned one of the points you meant when you were talking about this structure thing, getting knowledge, widening your horizon, right? What happens exactly, Sunita ji? People forget to take baby steps, right? They don't know how to introduce themselves properly. They don't know how to talk about their day-to-day routine. They don't know how to talk about the people who are living around them, about their day-to-day routine, right? They don't know how do they celebrate amazing. I think India is really diversified country, right? We have thousands of festivals which are celebrated every year and people forget to talk about even them. I believe that these are very specific baby topics people must start with. But like learners come with very unrealistic, unapproachable expectations to me, and they say, ma'am, I want to be native speaker in just 2 months. That like terrifies me most of the time, and I get very confused. So which is really, really rightly mentioned by you, that people must take baby step. First they must talk about their favorite dishes, their favorite food, their favorite day-to-day activities, their lifestyle, and then after they can jump on other topics and they can get knowledge from that. So yeah. So
Right,
what
right.
is the next
Start with
question?
something you already know about, improve on your vocabulary, polish on the phrases and all that. Start with those and then go to topics that you are not familiar with. Right?
Sure, sure,
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. So let's jump to another question. It is from Nitin. He said, sometimes I get confused with if condition sentence in communication. So how to overcome on that confusion?
I think condition sentences, conditional sentences. This is a really beautiful pattern of English grammar. I think I am in love with that particular pattern and concepts of English grammar, like passive voices, modals, and conditional. These are my favorite topics. But again, academically, when you learn these patterns, you are all about scoring good marks in your subjects, like English subjects. That's what happens with a lot of people across the country, irrespective of their regional background, like people from Marathi medium, Gujarati medium, then Telugu medium, like all the mediums people they come across when they are learning English as a subject academically. It's all about subject matter, right? But when it comes to use these patterns in your real life, you must have mental images of the topics. For example, if I very shortly explain about conditional sentences, there are four conditional sentences. First, zero conditional. It talks about facts. Always, when you have to talk about facts, general things which people believe, on a very big number of people they believe on in that particular fact. For example, the sun rises in the east, right? It's a fact. So when you say that if you do not water the plants, they dry. If you do not water the plants, they dry. It's a fact, undeniable fact. So when you connect this particular thing with your real life, if you say, Sunita ji, you are a mother, right? You must have come across some of your people or surroundings. They must have said to you that, Sunita, if you do not take care of your kids, they will go out of your hands, right? They will not listen to you, so you have to be very strict to them. This is what people believe in Indian society, that if you do not take care of your kids, right, if you don't mollycoddle them, then they are someone who don't listen to you later on, right? So that's how it happens. Build the connectivity with the conditional sentences if you want to use them in your communication. So zero conditional, that first conditional is all about when you say, if you don't do it, then in future you will not get it. Like if you do not work hard today, in future you will not get success. Very real thing. अरे आप काम नहीं करोगे तो कैसे खाओगे, right? If you don't study hard, you'll not get good marks. So when you talk about first conditional, again build a beautiful connection with your real life. कि अगर आप ये नहीं करोगे तो that will not happen to you, right? So again, a connection. Then second conditional is all about imagination. Oh my God, if I were a prime minister of India, what would I do? So can you just see the connection which I'm building right now? That if I am an individual, I am the center attraction of the language, I am learning, right? I will build connection with myself only. Oh, if I were a bird, I would fly in the sky. Unimaginable things. It is not something which is scientifically possible, at least for now. We are humans, right? Second conditional sentence. Then third conditional sentence is all about regrets, all about things which you are regretting on, that okay, if I had done so, it would have, it would have not happened here, or if I had invited him, he could have come, something all about regression, right? So this is very brief and simple definitions I have given to your audience and Mr. Nitin, that he has to build connection with these conditional patterns, right? So what's your take on this, Sunita ji?
I must say you've beautifully explained, and I never got this beautiful explanation ever, like on YouTube as well. And I want to share my experience that I was never aware of if conditional sentences until one of my students asked me. So then I looked for it and I looked for grammar patterns and all. It was quite simple. But before knowing the grammar rules, I was already using it for a long time. So I would say if they are quite clear about grammar rule, it's fine. They can use it. But even if they are not reading grammar rules or understanding the grammar concept, then also they can go for if conditional sentences by observing the patterns, whatever they are reading in books or maybe they are coming across in movies. Just observe the patterns and make sentences in the same pattern. So from there also they can learn and start using it, right? Grammar can give them accuracy and that confidence that, yes, I've used it in a right manner.
True, true, true. I'll give you the very easy way to go for. If you are the one who don't want to learn the grammatical patterns, you get scared of them and they don't interest you at all. What you can do is you can go for podcasts on YouTube and interviews of celebrities. They are most of the time, or like at least 30% of the times, they are asked, the celebrities are asked question in hypothetical way. For example, Ananya, if you were not an actor today, what would you have? What would you be? right? So then Ananya is answering, if I were not an actor, then I would be a doctor, or I would be an engineer, something like that. So can you just see the connection, that Ananya is being asked a question in conditional and unimaginable way. Right now she is an actor in her reality, right? So this is not possible her to get back to her studies in her childhood and start preparing for NEET to appear for MBBS, something like that, right? So this is how I built the connection with conditional sentences. Even so true, until my graduation I was not aware of what are conditional sentences. But once I stepped in a journey to learn the language, I came across hundreds of patterns on YouTube, and I myself worked on that. So this is the answer to Nitin, and I hope these answers help him.
I'm sure that Nitin has now understood the meaning of, if he'll be watching the video, he'll understand the meaning of conditional sentences, because you've explained in a very easy manner, so everyone can understand, right? Okay, so this is my last question, and this is a little out of league and a very interesting question. So Bhupal said, in daily life there are many distractions, such as getting angry, hectic work, and unfavorable situations. How to overcome these challenges?
I'm sorry, can you just repeat the name of the person? I got the question, but name of the person.
Yes. So this question is asked by Bhupal.
Bhopal. Okay, okay. Now, Bhopalji, there are a lot of things in your real life, right? Your distractions could be the friends and the surrounding you have in your real life, right? If you start speaking in the language which is not your regional language or your mother tongue, a lot of people feel very insecure around that, why the person is trying to be an alien, right? That you have to survive in the family, you have to talk to the family the language which they understand. So first of all, I want to have the clarification that what kinds of distractions and hectic, I understand the hectic schedule, right? And for that I would say, Bhupalji, that there could be one thing, that you have to understand your work culture, right? If you can, if you, it is getting very difficult to you, better you upgrade yourself and you change your job. That could be something which could be given as an answer to him. About distractions, I'll say that it's really important, Bhopalji. I would say that if you want to do something, right, it's for everyone. If you want to do something and if you know the results and the positive gifts and rewards of that particular activity, let's take the example of English. I remember watching your video, Sunita ji, where you were saying that no, I cannot give offline classes because people here in my village are not aware of the advantages of the language, right? This is what you were talking. True. The place I live, people don't know the advantages of the language, right? But I know the advantages of the language, and I have been working for 3.5 years, sitting at my home, working amazingly, making good money, and having good time with my family. So I would say that when you have distractions in your life, you must visualize the results which you are going to have after the actions you take every day, and something you want to do, you want to take actions upon, but you are not able to make it because you have distractions. But these distractions are not going to serve you. I have gone through hard times in my life. I have seen people, nobody stands. Like the people, the distractions, nobody stands when you are in trouble. So if you can visualize that end goal of your action, that if I do this, this will happen and this will give me good time, happy family, happy surrounding, mental peace, physical peace, then you must drop those distractions from your life then and there, even today. And sometimes it gets very difficult for the people to disconnect toxic people, and which
Mhm.
is which is quite understandable, because we are human and we have that emotional side of us where we sometimes fail to disconnect people who are always discouraging us, who are always pulling us down, who are not adding values in our life. Understandable. But then we have to understand the practicality of the life, the pragmatic approach we have to have, that if these negative friend circle or the community and the company is not going to serve me and they are not serving me, I have to say bye to them. I have to say, please take care of yourself. I have to take care of my family, my health, my goals. And it takes time. It is like that you have to work on your emotional intelligence. You have to think all the consequences of negative actions or distractions, and you have to think about the advantages of your good actions, right? That how the good actions can serve you in future. So that's what I can say. But I think for Bhupalji, I'm not the right person to answer this question, because even I'm going through a lot of distractions in my life, and everyone goes through that just because of technologies, work pressure, and real surrounding, right? Some toxicity around us. So for that, I think people must encourage communication. People have forgotten how to talk to each other, right? They have forgotten how to express their feelings. So I think communication must be encouraged here. Bhupalji, I must say that you must have one or two quality of people in your life who you can talk to every day and can discuss that how are you feeling. It's really important to release those emotional burden and baggages you have been carrying. So this is what I can suggest, at least for now, but I'm not the right person for it. Yeah.
I don't know why are you saying that you are not the right person but I am totally impressed by your answer. Now you can sign up for spiritual guru as well, I must say. You've explained it beautifully, and I'm sure he got the answer. And I would like to add on that he talked about angriness and hectic work and unfavorable situation. So, for that, I would say you need to identify the triggers that are making you angry. So, just avoid those situations because you need not to go into a situation where somehow you're getting angry all the time or you're meeting those people. So, just avoid them, right? And if things are not in your control, so don't try to control it or don't just waste your time on all those things. Just avoid it if it is out of your control. And if you can control something, try to look for solutions, right? And take some breaks in your work time because I think he is specifically mentioning about his workplace only when he talked about hectic schedules and all. So take some breaks and do your work in chunks. And in those breaks, you can just rejuvenate yourself and you can better focus on your work later, right? So these are few things that we can do as a human, and there would be problems and ups and downs in everybody's life, so we cannot neglect them. We have to accept all these things, and just as a human being, whatever best we can do, we shall do that, right? Considering our situation, everybody has different kind of situations, right? Okay, so
Yes, this
I
is
am
so
done with
true.
my questions,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it was really an insightful session with you. You have explained everything beautifully and addressed my audience with such an open heart. So I'm so thankful to you.
Most welcome, Sunita ji. And I think
Mhm.
if I add on a bit more on Bhupalji's question, I'll go for that. Everyone has emotions to, feel. That everyone has sadness, anger, burden, frustration. Everything is there, right? And then when you say that taking breaks, I understand for a lot of people, they have a lot of responsibilities. Like if they sit for a month at their homes, they'll not be able to pay their bills, which is quite understandable. So a lot of people cannot take breaks from there. What they can do is, I think, you must talk to people who are there to console, not there to trigger you, right? But then again, there might be one more thing to counter that. What if your family is toxic? How can you avoid them, because you have to live with them 24 into 7? I can give you a funny exercise here. And this, the exercise which I was told, not I was told, I think I was watching one of the interviews of Gaur Gopal Das, and he told that when someone tries to trigger you, even if he or she is your family members, and it is a time taking process, Sunita ji, time taking exercise. What you can do is, you can imagine that you have a remote control like this, and just click it, and imagine the person is mute. Like you mute your TV, right? You mute
That's
your car.
great.
So it is, you can imagine, and that's how you can turn the table around, and you can turn the situation. You can have that peace. I know it's not something which happens in one day, because a lot of emotions are very natural part of her, very instinct part of us right now. If I am the one who is really easy to trigger, if someone knows that she is the one who is very short tempered and she can get irritated, she can get frustrated in just few seconds, then they will come to me and they'll do it. So I have to understand that repetitive patterns in my life, and I have to avoid. And I think this is a long topic, Sunita ji. We can have conversation
Mhm.
later on, so we will talk
Right.
about it. Yeah.
Right. And I want to add a little bit because, yes, we have stretched it for long, but just because I will miss it later. So, yes, when you talked about that, you have to control your mind. So, to control your mind, I've seen people achieving this thing, the control of their mind or mindfulness, they have achieved it through meditation. So, yes, practicing meditation, practicing mindfulness would definitely help you transform as a person and a better person, I must say.
Yeah, sure. So I think we
Mm.
are done with the questions. And
Yes.
I want to be thankful to you, and I pay my gratitude because you have given me chance to be here on your platform and to address your audience. And if in future, if they have many more questions, and if any specific thing they want to listen to, from me, they want to listen from me. So I would love to, like help them. So I would love to come on your channel if you have time, and if you can host few sessions on various topics. I would like to talk because I have a lot to share with people. Though I am just 24, but I have learned a lot in my life. So I would help people if they want to. So yeah, thank you
That's
so much.
great. That's so nice of you. We'll definitely meet once again.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank you
so much
so
for
much.
joining. Okay, then. Bye. Take care.
Bye. You too. Thank you so much.